Good morning everybody, welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the weekend in 12th of April 2025. Trump receives a lot of flak for his tariff payback until he's forced to backtrack, except with China, for whom he whacks up his tax attack. MPs called back to agree to a British Steel comeback and prevent 3,000 being sacked. Birmingham racked with stacks of black plastic sacks and rats in packs. Keir backs a new drama to get our young men back on track. Trump's tariff turmoil, there was no concealing. All week the stock markets had a sinking feeling as the wheels came off the wheeling and dealing, traders begging, borrowing, maybe stealing. The US had caused the world economy to shrink. It was on the brink of being on the blink. Trump had caused a right diplomatic stink until at last he blinked, or at least that's what most think. And he suddenly, without warning, put a pause of 90 days on his tough tariff trade wars. There remains for all countries a 10% tax, but everything above that for now was relaxed. Except for China, who as it stands are still on the brink. There's no light at the end of their tunnel, not a chink. And the score right now, as we speak live, is 145 to 125. That's 145% charged by the USA, 125% from China the other way. So the US is currently winning the war. China needs 20 points more to claw back a draw. In Britain, China was also centre stage in making business headlines on the front page. The Chinese steel makers, Jinzhei, insist they've been losing money hand over fist. £700,000 a day is the amount they quote to keep the Scunthorpe British Steel plant afloat. The only virgin steel maker remaining here since Tata closed its Port Talbot plant last year. On Tuesday, Scunthorpe had received some advice when visited by Messrs Farage and Tice, and the advice from the party of free enterprise to stop Scunthorpe's imminent terminal demise was maybe to some a significant surprise. Reform UK's stance is to nationalise, and Sir Keir evidently thought that advice was wise to solve this problem of historical size. And so Parliament was called to sit on a Saturday, the first time since the Falklands War back in the day. And before MPs could talk themselves to a standstill, they'd backed the British Steel Special Measures Bill. And Scunthorpe celebrated, daring to believe it's a new dawn dawning, not a short-term reprieve. Starmer perhaps showing how a leader behaves when an industry and 3,000 jobs need to be saved. As it stands though, Jinzhei still own British Steel, which for most ministers is not at all ideal. For more than a month now, Britain's second city has brought upon its residents shame and pity. Living in such squalor has brought them shame. The pities that the inhabitants are not to blame. The reason for people to have become glum in Brum is the place has become a slum that's begun to hum. Not humming a good tune, but humming a bad smell as Birmingham descends into a modern-day hell. The bin men, despite a month of not earning, are still, it seems, resolute and determined, while the council's not for turning concerning the new T's and C's the workers keep spurning. Some responsibility roles the unions are discerning will be binned by the council from what we are learning, while the locals just want their collections returning, now that they have rats like cats along with other vermin. Starmer's demeanour is not exactly Mr. Funny Bones, but on Thursday he had a rare chance to lighten the tone. He visited Bedford, which presented a stress-free zone, a happy place away from the moans and groans. He was in a Bedfordshire village called Stewartby, to announce that in the near future there would be a 476-acre site nearby transformed into a feature to catch the world's eye, a new epicentre of family-friendly fun to be opened to the public in 2031, a universal theme park to amaze and stun, although locally, of course, it won't please everyone. Overall, though, now that the deal's dusted and done, the hearts of the British public seem to be won. So Keir has decided everyone can learn lessons from the Netflix series called Adolescence. The 4 hours of drama were, in essence, a study of the menace of online omnipresence. Young men in their internet intimacy, grappling with their masculinity, locking on to influencers like Andrew Tate and hardcore porn to stimulate, ejaculate, cultivating attitudes of disdain and hate towards women seen as objects there to dominate, with curtains drawn in their dark bedroom cell. Computer says yes to living as an incel. The detestation of females is articulated because engagement risks being humiliated. Misogyny becomes a mental component, leading in the end to an awful, fateful moment. The 4-part series so deeply touched Starmer, he's encouraging everyone to watch the drama. He even referenced it in the Commons and then invited its creators to number 10. And adolescence will now be added to school lessons to help young males navigate prepubescence. This week, though, the leader of the opposition, Kemi Badenoch, took a different position. She said it's fiction, not fact, and as such she didn't watch it. It didn't interest her much. A fair opinion, or is she just out of touch?